Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my 39-week pregnancy update, and I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. I did not plan on sitting here and filming this at all because I had assumed that I would be in labor by now. And you know, that's the thing when you assume because it always ends up being the opposite of what you hope for. So I just had hoped that I would be in labor by this time. It's my daughter. And I guess I had just thought that because, you know, last time I was overdue, I gave birth to her at 40 weeks, 4 days. And right now, sitting here filming this for you guys, I am 40 weeks and 1 day pregnant. But I had heard so many times that second pregnancies go quicker and that you're not, you know, not necessarily like weeks quicker, but just, you know, a few days or so faster because your body's been through it before and kind of knows what to do. But so far that is not correct. And every time I go to the doctor, absolutely nothing is happening. My cervix is hard. I am 0% effaced. I'm not dilated. It's closed. It's just like, oh, like, come on. I'm just ready. I'm so ready to be done. But anyways, I'm in my daughter's playroom because I am so lazy and do not feel like setting up any lighting today. All I want to do is just be lazy, and it's rainy here in Florida, so it just makes for a lazy, rainy day. And if you see me bouncing, I'm sitting on my birthing ball again because this is the only place that's comfortable. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this video started. So like I said, I'm 40 weeks, 1 day pregnant, and I've had heartburn pretty much my entire pregnancy. And I had that my last pregnancy also. I had heartburn the entire time. And with my first pregnancy, there was never a point where I felt that she had dropped. I never felt that she dropped super low or was really low in my pelvis. She may have been low, but I do not believe at all that it was as low as he is, because I don't know, I can tell that he is significantly lower, and therefore my heartburn is not bad at all. I was popping Tums all the time, daily, for sure. And now that I'm this far along in my pregnancy, I barely have to take heartburn meds at all. I took Tums yesterday, but that was because I ate spicy wings trying to induce labor, which didn't work, by the way. But I haven't had heartburn like I normally had, and that had just changed within this last week. And I was like, well, maybe this is like a sign, with my fingers crossed, hoping that I'll all of a sudden just go into labor because my heartburn is much better. But so far that hasn't happened yet. Something that I've definitely noticed a change in, and I can't remember if I had talked about this in my 38-week update or not, but that was an increase in discharge. And I know that they say, you know, this is the time where you're gonna lose your mucus plug, which I never lost with my first pregnancy. Never. I had like an increase in discharge with her towards the end, but it was never like bloody, and it was never, or the bloody show, whatever it's called. It was never bloody discharge. It wasn't mucusy. It just wasn't like that. And I ended up losing it when I was in labor, when they induced me. So I'm assuming that it'll be the same this time. I have had an increase in discharge, and I don't know if that's just because I've been bouncing on this ball, which is bringing everything lower, and that could definitely be it, but it's definitely not my mucus plug, but I definitely have had an increase in discharge this week. Another thing that I had thought or had hoped was an early labor sign was cramping. And I have had cramps pretty much every day in my lower abdomen, and I'm like, maybe today's the day I'm cramping, and it just doesn't mean anything. And I had also read online that some women go through that cramping phase for weeks and weeks, and it just doesn't mean anything. So I, of course, trying to be hopeful and positive, had thought maybe it would turn into something. So far it hasn't. And I never had cramping in my first pregnancy at all. never had any sign that I was gonna go into labor. Like I said, I was induced, but if you're new to my channel, I did go into labor on my own. Like my contractions started on my own. It's just they kind of petered out. So I couldn't finish labor on my own, therefore they had to give me Pitocin. So anyways, I never had any signs that I was going to go into labor with her, not that I can remember at least. And I definitely didn't have the cramping, but this time around I have so much cramping, and I can literally feel him punching and headbutting my cervix all day. Like it literally, sometimes it's sharp pains, and so I know that he is super low. It's just like, when are you trying to come out? Because he's there, he's engaged, he's ready, he's just not showing himself just yet. I did have a doctor's appointment on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday I had a doctor's appointment, and that was obviously my 39-week appointment, and I got to see my regular doctor. And I knew that we were going to talk about induction. He didn't check my cervix or anything because they had just the week before then, and he didn't feel it necessary to check it. I didn't want anyone to check it because it was very painful the last time that I had it done. If any of you ladies have your cervix closed or anything while you're pregnant, you know that it is painful because your cervix is posterior, whereas when you're gonna go into labor and you start dilating, it moves anterior, so it moves to the front. But with my cervix being so far back, it's very painful to get my cervix checked, so I was just trying to avoid that. And also cervix checks don't really mean anything because you can be 3 centimeters dilated for weeks and it just doesn't go anywhere until labor actually happens, where you start getting your contractions. Anyways, that's not what I'm getting at. So he didn't check my cervix. He just checked my measurements. I'm measuring right on target. Checked baby's heartbeat, fine, everything sounds good. And then we talked about induction. And military hospitals do induction differently than my previous experience. I obviously went to like a private practice when I was living in Texas, where I gave birth to my daughter, and I didn't see the military hospital, and I loved my doctor there and the hospital there. They were fantastic. And the second I reached my 40-week mark, or actually before then, my doctor scheduled my induction for me. And she scheduled my induction for 40 weeks and 5 days. So I went into labor a day early, right before my scheduled induction with my daughter. Anyways, military hospitals, or maybe it's just this military hospital, they will not induce you until you are past the 41-week mark. And I literally could have just cried. And some of you are like, well, that's probably a good thing. Why do you want to be induced? It's not that I want to be induced, because I obviously want him to come on his own, but the back pain that I've had these past like 2 weeks has been the worst back pain I've ever had in my entire life, that I am ready to be induced. And that so many people will not agree with me on that, but I'm only wanting to be induced past my due date. You know what I'm saying? So he's full term, he's healthy. I wasn't trying to be induced at 38 weeks where you're not full term yet. I'm 40 weeks 1 day. I was expecting my doctor to want to induce me within the 40-week time period. And when he said I had to wait till past 41 weeks, I literally I cried when I got in the car. And like I said, so many people are gonna disagree with me on that, but I'm ready to be done being pregnant. I'm so uncomfortable. I'm in a lot of pain. And as long as he's healthy and okay, I don't see a reason why I shouldn't be induced in my 40th week of pregnancy, but they don't see it that way. So I have an appointment this upcoming Monday. Today's Saturday. So in 2 days I have an appointment, and I will be seeing a different doctor because my doctor was booked for the whole week. And I had to see somebody this week. They make you go in every single week. So I have an appointment in 2 days, and that's when we'll officially set up a scheduled induction. And I'm gonna try to talk to him about possibly doing it this week and not waiting till next week when I'm 41 weeks, but I don't know what's gonna happen. I'll keep you guys updated. Maybe I'll vlog or something that day so I can let you guys know what's going on. I've been having contractions on and off. Nothing is regular, nothing is worth timing. Nothing is painful enough for me to stop and breathe and say, holy crap, like this is it. And I think that this pregnancy I'm gonna have back labor, which I never had with her, just because I was just telling you guys about the severe back pain I've been having, which I never had in my first pregnancy. And I spoke to my doctor about it, and he said that if you're experiencing back pain like this now, then you have a high chance of having back labor. So I'm planning on having back labor, which is going to be awful. I hear horrible things about it, and people don't wish it on their worst enemy. So I am anticipating that, and when I do have a contraction, I definitely feel it in my back, whereas my first pregnancy, I never did. I only felt the contractions on the front of my belly. And yeah, so I've had the contractions that have been irregular off and on for like a week, and along with that is, like I said, that back pain, and it's my lower back, and my mind is energized, if that makes sense. Like my mental state is like, I want to do this today, and this today. And speaking of that, I haven't been to the gym in weeks because my back is so bad. I can't even remotely even think about the gym. And that makes me sad because it's like, I'm cooped up at home all day because you guys know I don't work, I'm a stay-at-home mom. So going to the gym and getting out is like my alone time, and I haven't had that. And my mind wants to do all of these things. I want to clean this, and I want to scrub the floors, and I want to do this and that and this and that, but my body just says no. And at this point in my pregnancy, I need to listen to my body. I have to listen to my body, and if my body is saying don't do something and don't overwork yourself, I need to listen to it, because one of these days I will be in labor, and I don't want my back to be worse off because I did something I shouldn't have the day before or the hour before, you know what I'm saying? So at this point, I'm listening to my body, and I'm not doing more than I feel that I'm capable of doing. Another symptom I've had this week that I have not had this entire pregnancy or my previous pregnancy is going to be a little TMI, but a swollen vagine. And if you're triggered by the word vagina, you just might want to get out of this video now, because I might say vagina a few times, but oh my gosh, it is so painful and so swollen. And like I said earlier, I've tried ways to induce labor, and one of them being sex is advised to induce labor. Girl, the thought of even doing that with my poor swollen vagine just makes me cringe inside, because I'm hurting so bad, and sitting's uncomfortable and laying's uncomfortable. It's just so much pressure down there, which is also another reason why I'm saying that I think he is way lower than she was, because I never had that with her. But this time everything is so swollen and so tight down there. My stomach is tight all the time, and it's just so much pressure. That's the only word I can think of to describe that. But anyways, my poor vagina is swollen and hurts so bad, and obviously is extremely uncomfortable. I mean, who can sit down like that and be comfortable? So anyways, that's been a new symptom this week, and I know it's not gonna go away till I give birth. I have been super irritable this last week, and I mean, I honestly think I mentioned this in my previous update too, that I was super irritable, and I'm irritable again. It's just, I'm just, at this point, I'm just so uncomfortable that it's like, it's all I can focus on, it's all I can think about. It's hurting, and so I'm taking it out on the only person in my life right now, which is my husband. So that poor man. But anyways, irritability is definitely, I'm a bitch this week, I'm not gonna lie. The last thing I'm gonna talk about is cramping in my legs, like my thighs. I never had this last pregnancy either. I've only had it this pregnancy, and it's only been within this last week. And it's like, because I guess what I read online, because I haven't had a chance to ask my doctor about it, but what I read online was that the baby is sitting on certain nerves that, you know, go down into your thighs. And so that's what I think is going on with me. It's like radiating pain from my lower abdomen into like my inner thigh area, and it's so uncomfortable. It feels like restless leg syndrome almost. I don't know if any of you guys have experienced that. I personally have not. Maybe like once in my life, maybe. I don't know why, but my mom has it bad. And it's just, I lay in bed at night and I am so uncomfortable, and I'm like moving, I'm tossing and I'm turning because I'm not comfortable because of everything. And then on top of that, it's like my legs are just aching and aching and aching, and no position is comfortable. I can't get comfortable. And then with that achiness in my legs, it's just like I kind of just want to sit and move my legs around. I don't know. So I was gonna try to go walking today to attempt to induce labor for the millionth time, but it's really rainy here in Florida, so no walking for me today. Although I do have to go to the grocery store, so I will be pacing the aisles, trying to get this kid out. But hopefully the next update you see will be my birth vlog and not my 40-week pregnancy update, because I can't believe they're trying to make me wait 2 more weeks, guys. I can't believe it. I can't. But that's gonna be it for this update. I know I talked a lot, but I felt like I had a lot to update you guys on, and I didn't want to leave anything out, because all of these things could be signs of labor or not. I don't know, but I'm about to show you guys my bumps, so don't go anywhere. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Okay guys, so here's my front bump. That line is just from my maternity leggings I have on that go above the belly, but my front bump. And then my side. I still don't have any stretch marks, knock on wood. So, side, front again, and the other side.